Welcome, student. It is the chapter number 2 of class 11, and the name of the chapter is biological classification. First of all, we will study what is biological classification, and before that, I hope you all are fine and happy right now. We have already completed the lesson number 1, which one is the living world, and this lesson has contained the basic structure and functions or basic characteristics of living beings. We have studied lots of things regarding that, but in this lesson we are going to study about the classification, which I have already introduced in the last class, means taxonomy. Taxonomy is the different category which help in the classification of organisms. So first of all, what is biological classification? Means why do we classify the organism, and how many kinds of organisms are there on the basis of their characteristics. So first of all, let's study about the biological classification and its definition. Biological classification is the scientific procedure of arranging organism into group and subgroup on the basis of their similarity and dissimilarity, and placing the group in the hierarchy of categories. Means in the hierarchy means categories of taxonomy or different taxa of taxonomy. So hierarchical taxonomical hierarchy I have already taught in yesterday's class. Hope you understood that thing. I have already told you because that part is necessary to understand this lesson. That's why I taught the part, although it is not important for this year's syllabus because it has been deleted. So what is biological classification? Classification means classify or dividing the organisms on the basis of their similarity and dissimilarity. If I am telling you what are the common features between the living animal and a living plant, what are the similarity between them, what will you say? Is there any similarity? Yes or no? Obviously there are so many similarity that we bear plant and animal both. What are the similarity? First, both of them are made up of cell. It is the basic similarity. Second, lots of metabolic activity going on both of them, and they are just similar to each other, like respiration, like you can say different functions are there. So what are the dissimilarity between them? There are lots of dissimilarities, no? Animals or plants, the similarity between animals and plants. Animal can move from one place to another place. They have a locomotory organ. Plants have ant teeth. So we can classify the organism on the basis of similarity as well as dissimilarity. Now question arises, why do we classify the organism? As we are biologists, it is our duty to study each and every organism of the world that is known to us. So understanding each and every organism, we should classify the organism on the different categories. Every organism's study is not possible because there is a millions of organisms which is known to us. So if we study the group of an organism, we can study the all member of that organism. I will explaining it, just wait. First of all, the question arises, state the importance of classification. Whatever I told you, it has been written over here. It is not possible to study every organism. There is a lots of organism on this world. Study of one or two organism of a group give sufficient information about the essential feature of group. Means if we study one or two organism, only one or two organism, we can understand the basic characteristics of other organism just like themselves in belonging to same category. Suppose I am telling about mammals. So what is the basic feature of a mammal? If I talk about a cat or a rat or a dog, all of them are belonging to class mammal. So what are the basic feature of mammal? Mammal have fur on their skin. They feed their memory to their young one. They give birth to their young one. They have pinna. These are the basic characteristics. If I say that we human also belong to mammal, so whether these features are present in us, obviously we have. So if we study one or two organism of same category, we can understand the characteristics of all organism belonging to same category. So classification make it easy to understand the characteristics or the features of all living being belong to same category. Understood? So classification also help in identification of new organism. If you encounter with a new organism which is already not known by the biologist or the scientist, and you come with it, so how can you identify the organism? Obviously you will match the characteristic with the other organism, and if you matched it, you will classify that this particular organism look like this organism, and in this way you can able to identify the organism. So features help to understand and identify a particular organism. Now the point number 3, classification help in knowing the relationship amongst different group of organisms. Now very important question is coming over here. How one organism is related to another organism? Suppose there is an organism that is plant, or you can say there is an organism, suppose monkey. So how monkey are related to human being, or how human being are related to monkey? There is a evolutionary relationship, means human beings have arisen from monkey. So when you classify the organism, you will encounter with a lots of characteristics which resemble you, which give you information that a particular organism has arisen from another organism in the course of evolution. Means it gives the evolutionary relationship of one organism with other organism. If I say about cat, if I say about lion, if I say about tiger, if I say about cheetah, if I say about panther, all look like same. Means they have arisen from same parent. They have arisen from same parent. Means they have the common feature or the common evolutionary feature among themselves. So in this way we can study the relationship, or you can say evolutionary relationship between the organisms. Hope you understand the thing. Next, the organism of past cannot be studied without proper system of classification. Means the organism that has been present, that had been present in our past, and it is obviously known by us by the skeleton. Suppose in case of dinosaurs, although we have not seen the dinosaurs, we have studied them and we have classified them on the basis of the features. So how can we able to classify it, although we haven't encountered with that organism in our present day? So we can classify them on the basis of similarity and dissimilarity of different kind of organism present today. So classification also help to classify those organisms which were present in the past. Hope you understood. Now, what are the different method of classification? There are 3 different method of classification. One is artificial system of classification, another is natural system of classification, and third is phylogenetic system of classification. We will study each and every topic in detail. First come about artificial system of classification. In artificial system of classification, An organism has been classified, or two or similar kind of organism are classified on the basis of only one or two features. Obviously, it is not an accurate method of classification. That's why it is came under the category artificial system of classification. So, if an organism or the different organism are classified on the basis of only one or two morphological means physical character for grouping. Suppose among all plant in this world, we can classify the all plant on the basis of flowering and non-flowering plant. It is the only one feature. Is this plant able to flower? Yes or no? If yes, it has been classified under Enaima, and if not, it is classified under Aniama. And this method of classification is called Aristotle method of classification. It was the very basic level of classification when Aristotle tried to classify the organism and tried to study the organism on only one or two features. Means Aristotle, the father of biologists, has studied the method of classification. Obviously, it was a very simple one which has not been accepted further, but it has been started by Aristotle. Now, natural system of classification. Natural system of classification considered and compared the study of different characteristics, a number of characteristics in different organisms. On the basis of similarity and dissimilarity, they are classified. Let's study. Takes into consideration comparable study. Mean we compare the organism with different characteristics of the number of characteristics, so as to bring the natural similarity and dissimilarity, which can means we can naturally classify the organism on the basis of similarity and dissimilarity, and hence it is called natural classification. Means we observe all the characteristics, means mainly the physical characteristics of the organism, and we classify the organism on the basis of similarity and dissimilarity, although many characteristics are taken in consideration. Understood? Next, we are going to understand the phylogenetic classification, system of classification, and it is the one more thing I left it. Who were the scientists who started the natural system of classification? They were Bentham and Hooker, and the method of classification come with their name, Bentham and Hooker classification. Now we are going to study about phylogenetic system of classification, which is the modern method of classification and which is done by biologists nowadays. Phylogenetic classification based on the evolutionary relationship. It will help you to understand which kind of organism has arisen from which kind of organism. In this way, all the organism can be classified mannerly on the basis of similar characteristics and evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship obviously make a perfect categorization of an organism which do not have any kind of fault. That's why this method of classification is the standard one. Understood? So based on the evolutionary relationship of organism, in this system organisms are classified on the basis of their evolution on the earth from primitive to highly evolved. And who were the scientists who started is Engler, Pattle classification and Hutchison classification. Means two different scientists, Engler and Pattle, and one other scientist called Hutchison has been discovered and popularized this system of classification. That's why it is called Hutchison classification. Hope you understand the different method of classification and the one which is more popularized by the scientists nowadays. Now, depending upon the type of system of classification, different method of classification, the kingdom system of classification. First kingdom system of classification given by Aristotle were two kingdom classification. That is, and it is also accepted by Carolus Linnaeus. Remember this. Two system of classification. So what were the two system of classification? All organism on the world has been divided into two main categories. One come under the Plantae and another come under the Animalia. Think. An amoeba has been classified as Animalia, and an algae has been classified as Plantae. Although there are so many characteristics which were not matched with the algae as Plantae. Actually, there are some organisms which come under between this Plantae and Animalia, like Euglena. Euglena is an animal, or Euglena is an organism, unicellular organism, which have a cup-shaped chloroplast. Means during the daytime they can able to do the photosynthesis, but at night they catch the prey. Catch the prey means a small organism and feed them. Oh, a single organism bear both the characteristics of plant and animal. Means during the day they perform photosynthesis, and at night they perform the heterotrophic nutrition as like animal. So where they belong to? That's why the two kingdom classification means Plantae and Animalia that has been proposed by Carolus Linnaeus has been, you can say, neglected. After that, one more classification has come. Three kingdom classification means all organisms that are present on this world has been classified into three main categories. First is called Plantae, third is called Animalia, and at the middle there is Protistas. Protista means unicellular organisms which have nucleus, but they are unicellular organism. Obviously they are unicellular organism. They belong to the characteristics between Plantae and Animalia, but there are so many organisms which were obviously unicellular and have no you can say nucleus, means they are prokaryotic. So where should they be classified? That's why this method of classification also neglected by the scientists. And after all, the five kingdom classification has been given by R.H. Whitaker. The five kingdom classification, it was given by R.H. Whitaker. And what was the five kingdom classification? All organism on this world has been classified into five parts. What were they? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So there are five different kingdoms. Hope you understood the method of classification, means kingdom method of classification, and five kingdom method of classification that has been given by R.H. Whitaker has been popularized nowadays and utilized by the scientists as well as the studied by the student. It is one of the most important. Now let's study. I have already explained all the points. Just I am going to sweep all the things. Okay. So two kingdom system of classification. The organisms are grouped on the basis of presence and absence of cell wall. In two kingdom classification means Plantae and Animalia. What were the characteristics that has been chosen? Very simple characteristics has been chosen. The very simple characteristics has been chosen. Whether the cell of the organism bear the cell wall. If they bear the cell wall, they come under the Plantae, and if they do not bear the cell wall, then they come under the Animalia. So presence or absence of cell wall has been chosen as the characteristics, and on the basis of this single characteristics, all organisms of this world has been described and classified under two main categories, that is Plantae and Animalia. Obviously, it is not a very good method of classification, but people had studied in many decades ago, and this method of taxonomy was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. Remember, this is very important name because Carolus Linnaeus is also known as the father of taxonomy. The taxonomy, the part of the lesson that has been taught by me yesterday. Hope you understood these things. Now, the three kingdom classification was proposed by Haeckel. So, Haeckel separated the unicellular organism, mainly the algae and fungi, on the basis of lack of tissue differentiation. Means the unicellular organism have no any kind of tissue, although plantae and animal have peculiar kind of tissue, and each tissue have a peculiar kind of functions at all. That's why this method of classification was based on the peculiar characteristic, that is unicellular animals or organisms, the basis of the lack of tissue differentiation. So what was the characteristics has been chosen? The characteristics has been chosen to classify the organism is the tissue differentiation. New kingdom Protista were introduced. So this kingdom has been introduced by Haeckel, although obviously it is not popularized because fungus has not been mentioned over here, as well as many unicellular prokaryotic cells, prokaryotic organisms has not been introduced over here. Many fungus and their categories had not been introduced over here. So the five kingdom classification system of classification has been introduced by R.H. Whitaker. R.H. Whitaker divide all the organism on the basis of phylogenetic classification, means on the basis of evolutionary relationship. Remember, this term is very important. Phylogenetic relationship means evolutionary relationship, means on the basis of evolution, which kind of organism has arisen with other kind of organism, and which another kind of organism has arisen from which another kind of organism. So this method of classification were accurate, and it gave the exact data of the organism on the basis of evolution, and they were divided under the different category on that way only. Understood? That's why it is very popularized from mid of 20th century till now. Obviously new method of classification has been introduced, but it is not a matter of study right now for you. Hope you understood this part. This is the end of the part number 1. I have explained all the topic very well. If you have any kind of problem regarding understanding, obviously you can ask me. Make the note. It is very necessary to understand each and every topic of this lesson, because it is important for NEET as well as for the test that has been proposed by me, that has been given by me. Okay, hope for your better learning. Bye bye, see you.